Hello friends, I am Dr. Deepak Garg and this is our fifth video in NEET PG Orthopedic series. Today we are going to discuss about concepts of amputation and so if we talk about amputation, what is amputation? Amputation is loss or removal of a part of a body. For example, toe amputation, below elbow, below knee or above knee amputations. Similarly, disarticulation is removal of a part of a body through the joint. For example, knee disarticulation or hip disarticulation or elbow disarticulation. So what are the indications of amputation? The most common amputation in India is road traffic accident or crush injuries after road traffic accident. Most common indication in the world is peripheral vascular disease like diabetes mellitus. So if we want to remember the indications of amputation, we can simply remember dead, dangerous and dumb limb. Dead means the limb is already necrosed, it is dead. So it can be after crush injuries, it can be after peripheral vascular diseases, or it can be after burns also. Dangerous means there is something in the limb which can endanger to the patient's life. For example, gas gangrene, infection or malignant tumors. Dumb limb means the functionless limb. It can be after neuromuscular diseases like polio, or it can be after congenital deficiencies in patients which may need amputation. So if a patient present to us in the casualty with a crushed limb, so to decide whether we should go for amputation or we should salvage the limb, we use multiple scoring system. The most common used is a mangled extremity severity score. So it has 4 components. To remember the components, we have a mnemonic SISA, SISA. S for skeletal and muscle injury. It mainly considers the velocity of the injury. Then I for ischemia, S for shock, A for age group. Total score is 11. If score is more than equal to 7, then we go for amputation, then salvage. Similarly, there are other multiple scoring systems like injury severity score and Ganga score. If injury severity score is more than 50 or Ganga score is more than 17, then also we will prefer amputation more than salvage. So broadly, amputation can be a closed type of amputation or an open type of amputation. In closed type of amputation, we will close the wound in the primary surgery itself. So we will cut the bone short as compared to the soft tissue so that we can get an easy closure. Whereas in the open type of amputations, we will keep the wound open in the primary surgeries. This can be because of the presence of infection in the wound or severely contaminated wound. Where we want to wait for the secondary closure. So in the closed type of in the open type of amputation, we will definitely need a secondary procedure. It can be a redebridement, it can be a closure of the wound, it can be a plastic surgery, it can be a revision of the amputation, but definitely we need a secondary procedure in open type of amputations. So what is an ideal amputation stump? It should be non-tender, it should be well healed, it should be non-adherent, it should be non-bullous. Skin at the end of the stump should be mobile, skin at the end of the stump should be sensate, and the stump should be properly constructed for the fitting of a prosthesis. So if we discuss about the principles of amputation, so the first thing is we need to determine the level of amputation. So we should keep in mind that the stump it is should be better for a prosthesis fitting, and if we keep the length longer, then the less energy expenditure will happen. So we should try to keep it as long as possible. So longer the stump, lesser the energy expenditure. So for example, hip disarticulation require 100% more energy, whereas knee disarticulation require 50% more energy as compared to the normal people. So if we talk about the ideal stump length, in the above knee we use 12 centimeter above the medial joint line, and for below knee we used 12.5 to 17.5 centimeter from the medial joint line. If they ask in the question, then we should choose the higher value between 12.5 to 17.5 because that will give us a better prosthesis fitting. Below elbow is usually at the junction of the proximal 2/3 and the distal 1/3. Usually it is 18 centimeter from the elbow joint, and from above elbow we take 3.8 centimeter from the olecranon process. So if we talk about the technical aspects, skin and muscle flap, for skin and muscle flap, we should keep the flap as thick as possible. And there are two techniques, one is myodesis, another is myoplasty. We will discuss in detail. Then we need to achieve the proper hemostasis. For hemostasis we use a tourniquet, but tourniquet is not usually used in cases of severe ischemia, and we do not use the S-mark or limb elevation in cases of infection or malignant tumors when we use a tourniquet. So we will ligate arteries and veins separately, and we will keep a drain for 48 to 72 hours. And if when it comes to the nerve cutting of the nerve, then we should handle the nerve gently. We should separate the nerve properly. We should pull it after. We should catch the nerve. We should pull it gently, and there should be a clean, sharp dissection with a knife, so that there is no formation of neuroma. Because once we cut the nerve, it is almost definite that is neuroma is going to be formed. So that neuroma which is going to be formed should be inside the soft tissues. It should not be at the stump, or it should not touch the prosthesis, otherwise it will become painful. So if we talk about the cutting of the bone should be cut at least 5 cm shorter than the soft tissue to allow for a easy closure. And we should avoid excessive periosteal stripping, otherwise it may lead to the formation of a ring sequestrum. So if we talk about myoplasty, that myoplasty is muscle is sutured to the muscle. So in cases of amputation for ischemia, we will usually do myoplasty, whereas myodesis is muscle is sutured over the bone. So myodesis is preferred over the myoplasty. But it is contraindicated in peripheral vascular diseases, because vascularity is already compromised, and if we will tie it with the bone, we will even compromise the vascularity. That may lead to the complications. Otherwise myodesis is better than the myoplasty, because that will give a better bony adherent to the muscle and better functional outcome post surgery. So if we talk about the flap closure, that can be a symmetrical method or it can be a skewed method. In the symmetrical method, suture line is on the mid-coronal plane, and the advantage of using a symmetrical method that it is very easy, and disadvantage is if we keep the suture line in the midline, then prosthesis will come on the suture line and it may cause pain and swelling. Whereas in the skewed method, mostly we use in the lower limb, the posterior flap is kept longer than the anterior flap and suture line is anterior to the mid-coronal plane. So the advantage is it decreases the problem of application of the limb prosthesis and wound dehiscence. And disadvantage is nothing but it is difficult as compared to the symmetrical flaps. So we should always prefer skewed flaps in the lower limb amputations if there is no contraindication. So if we talk about the complications of amputation, so there are multiple complications of amputation, like infection. Infection may need immediate debridement sometimes. Bleeding can be intraoperative or postoperative. Postoperative bleeding is usually controlled by applying compression bandages. And there can be a flap necrosis. Flap necrosis can be because of too tight suturing. It can be seen in patients who do smoke, malnourished patient, or patient if already had ischemic disease, compromised blood supply, which again led to the flap necrosis. Another complication is sequestrum, like we have already talked. If we remove too much of the periosteum and we do excessive periosteal stripping, then it can lead to the formation of a ring sequestrum. There can be many dermatological problems like contact dermatitis, bacterial folliculitis, epidermoid cyst, and verrucous hyperplasia. So all these complications are mostly related to the prosthesis. So if we solve the problems of prosthesis fitting, these problems are usually resolve in 2 to 3 weeks. So another complication is a pain. So there can be many reasons of the pain. It can be a phantom limb pain. That means the patient will feel the pain in the amputated part of the limb. That is very common after the amputations, and the treatment is very simple. We should educate the patient. We can give mirror therapy to the patient. early use of the prosthesis can solve the problem, and there are few medications like gabapentin, anti-pregabalin, or tricyclic antidepressant sometimes we give. These can help the patient for phantom limb sensations. Then there can be residual limb pain. That means it is again due to the poorly fitted prosthesis. So if we improve the prosthesis, this pain will also go. There can be herniated lumbar disc pain because the amputees, there is a change in the energy expenditure and the mechanics of the body. So their herniated lumbar disc pain are more common in the amputees. Then we have already talked about painful neuroma. So if we keep the nerve section longer and it forms a neuroma which become painful, and so initial treatment of a painful neuroma is a socket modification. If it is not resolved with socket modification, then we will excise the neuroma, and if or sometimes we can go for proximal neurectomy also. And for pain control, we can give physiotherapy like transcutaneous electric nerve stimulation TENS, which is more effective than interferential therapy, which is more effective than ultrasonic therapy. So there are various terminologies that we use in amputations, like 4/4 amputation is through shoulder girdle amputation. Shoulder disarticulation is at a glenohumeral joint. Transhumeral means at the mid-arm amputation. Elbow disarticulation at elbow level. Transradial or ulnar is at mid-forearm level. Krukenberg functional, which is not used nowadays, it is a radius and ulna can be used as a pincer. Wrist disarticulation at the wrist level. Ray amputation, you should know ray amputation, removing full finger with part of the metacarpal. Similarly, in the lower limb, hind quarter amputation means through hemipelvis. Hip disarticulation means at the hip joint level. Transfemoral at mid-thigh amputation. Knee disarticulation at knee level. Transtibial below knee amputation, which is the most common amputation. So the most common amputation is a below knee amputation. Gitti-Stroke amputation is done at the distal femur and closed with a patella and its soft tissue. That means the patella is not removed, which cover the distal part of the femur. And if in the foot, we should know all these terminologies in the foot. Sims amputation is at the ankle level, that is approximately 0.6 centimeter above the dome of the talus. So we will here we will keep the malleoli intact, so the base is wide. Whereas Sarmientos is a similar type of amputation where we will go 1.3 centimeter proximal to the ankle with both the malleoli. So the base is narrow in Sarmientos. Boyd amputation is after talectomy, fuse calcaneum to the tibia, and Piragoff's amputation is after talectomy, calcaneum is cut and rotated and then fused with the tibia. Chopard's amputation is intertarsal joint level between talonavicular and calcaneocuboid joints. Lisfranc is at a tarso-metatarsal joint level. Ray amputation, again removing a finger along with a part of the metatarsal. So now let's just compare. After the amputation, we will give the patient some kind of prosthesis. So these are called prosthesis, not orthosis, because they will replace the part of the body. So mainly we talk about the Sage foot and the Jaipur foot. Sage foot is a solid ankle cushion heel, and it has a long keel, so it will not allow ankle movements at subtalar and subtalar movements. So squatting and walking on the uneven surface is not possible in Sage foot. Again, barefoot walking is not possible in the Sage foot, and it has a high cost. Whereas the Jaipur foot was invented by Dr. P. K. Sethi, and it allows both ankle movements and subtalar movements. So squatting and walking is also possible, barefoot walking is also possible, and the cost is low as compared to the Sage foot. So this was about the concepts in the amputation about today's video. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe this video for spreading awareness to many of your colleagues and seniors and juniors. So thank you guys, thank you very much.